back to Screen. I'm Andrew, and this is Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris.
And today, we are getting over it with Bennett Foddy.
I look forward to getting over it with Bennett Foddy. He's gonna really help me get over it.
So this is a fun game. I don't know if you the viewer have played this yet, but it is a fun game. And we're gonna try to turn this one into a movie.
Hell yeah!
It's gonna be difficult, I think, because it's a very much in its own medium. Like it's already its own thing. But yeah, let's see if we can apply some sort of narrative to what we're seeing here.
Go ahead.
So the concept of this game is you are a guy in a bucket with a hammer, and you're trying to climb a mountain.
Trying to get over it.
Not just really a mountain, but like a whole bunch of obstacles.
And that's kind of where I think a lot of the inspiration for this movie is going to be coming from. Oh, and there's Bennett Foddy.
Right, and the narrator, the creator of the game, probably also will play a big role.
Yeah. For those who don't know, the creator of this game is the creator of Co-op, everyone's favorite game about foot racing. I'm really thinking this is going to be a bit of a surrealist movie, like a Terry Gilliam-esque, like what's real, what's not real.
Terry Gilliam, maybe Charlie Kaufman-esque as well. That's sort of self-referential because the author is in the game.
Yes.
So maybe like a little inspiration for both. Maybe they work together to make this one.
I was kind of thinking like half Brazil, half Swiss Army Man. There we go.
Okay, Swiss Army Man. Yeah.
Like Swiss Army Man, you watch that, like, is it happening for real?
I like
is it not? Like, it's always ambiguous.
I think Swiss Army. I was actually going to say Synecdoche, New York.
Oh yeah, that's another good one.
But I think Swiss Army Man's even better.
Yeah.
That sort of because that's got that narrative you can really build, but it's all thematic, and what is really happening doesn't really matter what's really happening because it's all serving the theme.
Exactly. Like, this is a metaphorical movie. It's going to be very surreal.
So one thing when I was kind of like looking over this game a little bit, researching it, is that the main character is of this game is named Diogenes,
which I didn't know.
Yeah, he mentions it briefly in the game, and I googled it just to make sure he wasn't like just being metaphorical, but that's how he's known on the wiki. And the thing that's kind of fun about the real life Diogenes is that he was a homeless philosopher, a bit of a crotchety man. He kind of made fun of Plato. He invented cynicism. Like I feel like if you're the guy who invented cynicism, I mean, like that really like kind of shows what kind of person you are.
It really informs your character.
Like he like met Alexander the Great and kind of just like insulted him to his face, and then like, you know, luckily Alexander the Great didn't like just murder him there.
Just like, all right, kill that man.
But what he did instead, he kind of learned from him, and he said, "Okay, wise old man, you've certainly broadened my mind. I must give you something. You know, do you want money or?" And so he just says like, just step out of the way. You're in my sunlight.
Yeah, I do remember.
Yeah, you remember that one?
That's the one I remember. Okay.
That's the thing. Like, there's a few stories that like about him that you might remember, but you know, he's not like the most well-known philosopher. So, he was always saying how, like, you know, humans are so full of themselves, like they're so pompous and pretentious, and that dogs are better because they live in the moment. Which I think kind of ties into, you know, as you progress during this game, you know, Bennett Foddy kind of narrates and tells you how in this world that we live in with the internet, how it is, everything is great for like 5 seconds, and then it's garbage, and the next thing is popular.
Yeah.
And as a creator, there's no benefit to make a difficult game, to make an experience people are going to have to work at, because people want to feel good because they're only going to spend 5 seconds on your thing, and then they're going to give up and move to the next big thing. Like, most stuff that has been created is garbage because it's already unpopular.
Yeah.
And I think that's such like an interesting idea.
That's a deep frustration.
It really is.
Real punch in the gut.
I think that's a good theme in here. And also, what keeps coming up in this game is that it's starting over is worse than starting up. It is losing progress. Yeah. So
it really feeds into the frustrations you feel as a child almost. You're playing a game and your memory card gets corrupted. Like these are issues that aren't as common anymore. But now we are definitely in the age of instant gratification, and that's always seen as a flaw in game design. If that happens.
Sorry about that.
So yeah, this game was made to be difficult. Like this game is about the journey more than anything.
Oh, it's 100% about the journey.
It's not even like it's not about the stuff you see along the way, because it's a bunch of nonsense together. Like he even talks about in this how it's modeled after it's modeled after Sexy Hiking, which is a game that's kind of just taking assets from other games and just kind of thrown together. And whereas this is I believe all original models and stuff, it still looks very thrown together.
Yeah, it's still just a bunch of garbage.
And then at the end, like spoilers for people who haven't beat the game or watched it on YouTube. But at the end of the game, the big prize is you just go to a chat room. Like there's no great reward. The reward is you did it. The reward is you spent the time conquering this challenge,
and you get to hang out in a private room with other people that conquered the challenge.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically it. It's the journey itself, not what you see along the way, not the reward at the end. The journey is the game. Like that is
one of the most unusual.
It's really like a minimalist, stripped down kind of like what is a game. It like really knocks it down to like its most basic parts.
Yes, it's very much a core concept of you're going from point A to point B.
Now, if this is the core concept of a game, should the movie be a core concept of the movie? Should it be what is a movie stripped down to its most basic parts?
Oh, interesting. I think we could do a lot more fun things with it being a meditation on film.
Yeah,
as well as like
like Bennett Foddy is the director of the movie.
Yeah,
it's almost like Duck Amuck, like the Looney Tunes.
Yeah, when he's Daffy's being drawn.
Yeah. It feels like it could be sort of like a Terry Gilliam sort of Duck Amuck.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Maybe the director is placing like it could be something like, oh well, it's the end of Act 2, so we have to make you very sad.
Oh, that'd be great. So really on the nose.
Yeah.
Cinema is changing. Like we're in a very interesting time right now.
Yeah.
In the past, cinema was cinema. It was just done. Like if you want to see a movie, you go to the movies.
Yeah.
But that's not the case anymore.
Yeah. Now it's all like the cinematic universe and everything.
Yeah. Like if you're making a movie and it's for the theaters, if it's not a cinematic universe and it's not an animated children's movie, you don't succeed anymore. Like Annihilation, it's a great movie. I loved it. I saw it in theaters, but America is the only country that gets it. It's getting a limited release.
Yeah.
Every other country it's straight to Netflix.
Yeah.
Like we're in a world now where we're seeing the transition from major releases being a normal thing to you either have to be part of the Disney machine to be in theaters or you're on Netflix.
Yeah. Like I could see this being like, Bennett Foddy is like narrating this, and it's like, this is a movie. It's not a sequel. It's
not a comic book adaptation.
It's about a man in a bucket with a hammer. You don't know who he is, and you don't care who he is.
Honestly, it's not important who he is.
Yeah, and it's just sort of like he's like pitches you like the dullest movie idea ever. like it's sort of like it's going to take effort to enjoy this movie.
You're really going to have to think if you're gonna take anything away from this.
Yeah. Like that could be a fun way to start it.
Oh, I am all on board with this right now.
We don't necessarily dislike these other movies.
Oh no. We go and we see every Marvel movie.
Oh yeah, I love the Marvel movies.
Like,
maybe what this could be. Maybe we make an experimental film that is accessible enough.
Entertaining, but still like a meditation on film and the changing industry of film.
Yeah, there is a narrative to this movie. I feel like the rule to get your movie into a theater is it has to be a narrative movie.
Yeah. It certainly helps.
Yeah. Like I feel like you're never going to be able to pitch like, oh, this doesn't have a story. That's that it belongs in a museum. That belongs in a museum, not a multiplex.
I think there has to be a part in this movie where the character falls back down to the beginning.
Yeah.
This happens all the time in the game.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of fun dialogue that we could have there. Just like, I know what you're thinking. You've seen this part of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to do this again, but like, we're gonna learn something new here probably, because this is new for the character. He's never fallen down before.
Oh, then now that's an interesting choice, where maybe it's like the midpoint of the movie, and they fall down to like, so it would be a really bad choice for a writer to put the same thing in a movie twice. I want to know if there's a way we could do that.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested. Can we make that
like
suicide?
We have to force the audience to watch the same thing twice, but at the same time, we are actually trying to make a good movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's a way to do that.
Like, the point of you failing and falling back down is that it's frustrating, and that's hard, because if you frustrate your viewer, it's a bad movie.
Oh, you know what? I think I know where to put that, actually.
Oh, yeah?
And it's not maybe where you think. I think you put that's the end of Act 1. Because you have a little setup, we get introduced to the concept, it's the guy in a bucket with a hammer, this is a movie about movies, it's a very, very meta movie, whatever, and it's almost like a nature documentary, maybe, like, so what happens is that we start to see him climb up this mountain, and we start, that's the beginning of like the journey a little bit. We haven't hit Act 2 yet.
Yeah.
He gets up to he makes some good progress, and then he falls all the way down to the beginning of the movie, and that's when you go, this is a movie about failure. And now we've started the movie. Now we know what we're in for. Let's recap and see if we have anything resembling a movie so far.
We should actually. I don't think we have anything right now. I think we should start.
We have basically nothing, but I think we know.
We have goals.
We know we know what we want. We know what we want to feel with this movie.
Now we need to start seeing. Can we find an Act 1, an Act 2, and Act 3? Do we do a traditional 3-act structure?
I think we should, because I think we're breaking down movies. I think
that's a good point. We want to use that skeleton.
I almost feel like we want it to be super obvious we're doing 3-act structure. It's almost like taunting the audience with, like, this is what you like 3 acts, so we're giving them to you.
Yeah. And again, I like your idea that, like, Bennett Foddy's voice will be there to say, like, all right, we're in Act 2 now, so
yeah
we gotta find that lowest point, guys.
Right. Like, yeah. We could be like Dan Harmon, how he loves to talk about that in his shows, like Rick and Morty. They're always talking about story structure.
Yeah. It's my one-armed man, Morty.
All right. So let's see if we can do a little bit of recap, because I think Act 1 we
actually we do have.
We had a bit of an Act 1. So the movie starts. We get our guy in a bucket and the hammer. I think it maybe starts the same way, and we have Bennett Foddy, and he's sort of like, this is not a movie based on a comic book. It's not a sequel. Maybe like it is based on a video game, but you've never played it.
That doesn't matter to you.
Or like maybe that's the only reason why this got made.
Yeah.
And then he's talking about, like, this is a movie about a guy in a bucket with a hammer climbing a mountain. So he starts climbing up the mountain. He gets up to a certain point, and Bennett Foddy's like talking to us about whatever. Like I must feel like most of this is going to be the narration. Like the narration. That's like another rule that, like, I think it's kind of fun to break. Is
definitely.
Like narration is sort of like a crutch, and it's like sometimes if used wrong, it's just like garbage, makes the movie real bad. But I think we're going to it's going to be like all narration. It's going to be like
a lot of it's going to be narration.
Act 3 would probably have to be like the narrator leaves the movie, like at the end of Act 2, like the lowest point is when Bennett Foddy, like the creator of this world, the source of any sort of like narrative,
like he's our anchor, so to speak.
He leaves the movie, and now you are as lost. Like this could be like 2001,
yes,
where you kind of don't really know what's going on. Like, sure, you can figure it out after you watched it.
It's going to be Act 3. I think is going to be the part of the movie where, for critics that like our movie, they're going to be saying things like bold, visionary.
Yeah, right.
20 minutes of unbroken silence.
Yeah. Like floating around in space. Like I think it, like, the closest thing I can think of is 2001.
Yes.
I feel like that's Act 3, and then finally, I guess the very end, like in the end of the game, he comes back. He says like one last thing. I guess he basically thanks you for playing or something. I can't remember exactly what he said, but it's like this heartfelt thank you. and then you have to like promise that you're not uploading.
You won't, spoil the end.
Yeah, and then
which we're doing.
But we're not showing it. So, because we certainly won't get that far.
Definitely not.
And then you get to go to that chat room. So like, what's the like the equivalent?
Oh, I got something.
Because like the credits come at the end, but yeah.
I'm thinking the movie ends fairly unsatisfactorily. I think like he floats in the space,
but it should be thematically whole. Like,
yes. But what I want to do is the post-credit scene because obviously we got to have that if we're making fun of deconstructing the modern cinema experience.
Yeah.
I think that will be a URL that you're given.
Ah.
You go there, and if you upload a photo of your ticket stub, you're invited into a chat room to discuss the movie.
Okay, that's kind of fun.
Like, I think that's a really fun one.
So the thing that's kind of fun about this, and this is impractical in the real world, but it would be pretty funny if this very silly concept of a man climbing up a mountain in a bucket with a hammer had a lot of special effects. like you know, like maybe he's a completely CG, like photorealistic CG, like everything, like high quality renders.
Yeah, like Nicolas Cage is wearing a lot of those little yellow and white balls on his face.
Yeah, right. Like it's not Nicolas Cage, but it looks just like him. Like
Benedict Cumberbatch as Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. Something like that. It's Benedict Cumberbatch as Nicolas Cage.
Oh my god.
Like it's so over the top, and it doesn't need to be. I think that would be very funny.
I like that a lot, and it helps me with Act 2 a little bit because I think Act 2 could be kind of a like. Act 1 ends, we fall back down the mountain.
Yeah.
Like, we have to redo part of it, and, like, Bennett Foddy would be like, all right, you know, I'm being told from the producers right now that this isn't going to fly. You're actually a test audience, guys, and we could see we're watching right now.
Yeah.
A lot of frownies in the audience. So, you know what? Like, we know you want that Marvel Disney stuff, so here we go. And, like, just, like, in the background, non-interactive with our character, like, superhero fights. Just, like,
okay,
like,
something like
DC style, like, there are two CGI puppets hitting each other, and there are blasts of light. Like,
Oh, and that could be kind of funny where, like, I mean, I don't want to stray too far from the game idea, but it could be kind of funny where it's like the director's like wrestling with the producers during the movie.
Oh yeah, like you hear them fighting a little bit.
Where it's like they have to add more stuff to it to make it more interesting. Like I don't know. Like again, like I want to capture the I like the movie we are discussing, but I don't want to stray too far away from the game because that's really the whole point of this.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm trying to keep it true while changing the medium.
All right. Just to refine the Act 1 break. Yeah. He's climbing, and all of a sudden he sees like the first new thing, the first bit of set dressing.
Yeah.
And the audience goes, okay, here's the real story. And bam, he falls down. And we're restarting. And it's not about the new stuff, it's about climbing up again.
Yes.
That's so weird. I like it.
But I think it fits really well.
Yeah. I think this game was made to reward people who like a challenge.
Yes. It's like a critique on the fact that gaming is no longer about challenges, it's about spectacle and instant gratification, and it's also kind of a prize for people who like a challenge.
It's people who like a challenge. You're not playing this for the reward of the challenge.
Yeah, like it's not a story, it's not fancy mechanics, it's just a pure and simple, hey, you want to do something hard? Do you think you can?
Yeah.
There you go.
And that, I mean, this movie could be that. It could be like, oh, so you like experimental films?
Yeah.
Well, this one's a bit of a doozy. Can you watch it?
Can you handle it?
Can you handle how alienating this is going to be?
Alienating, I think, is a good word for what we're going for.
Yeah. Because like, if I heard that, I'd be like, ooh, sign me up. I want to be the guy who likes this movie.
Right?
Like that's a challenge I like.
Yeah. I just want to keep on talking about like fun bits we could do, but like really,
if we come up with enough fun bits, we could sort of, if they're all, maybe there's something there.
I mean, like bucking traditional movie telling, is fun. So like, Act 2 like could be you hear the producer argument, like maybe you don't hear the producer's voice, you just hear Bennett Foddy's replies. Right. Yeah. So just like, what do you mean a romance? There's no other characters.
Yeah.
Where would I introduce that?
Yeah. That's kind of fun.
Because that's a thing that always happens in movies. Is someone's always like, well, what about the romance? Because that's what girls want. And it's like, girls just want a good movie.
It could be to the point where it's like like the hammer starts talking to him,
right?
And it's like, this is ridiculous. Like the narrator could just hate the way the movie's going.
Yeah, I love that a lot. Like, what do you mean we need a mascot for children? This isn't a movie for children. Don't worry, you're gonna get it. This is the one. Did you like the hammer talk?
He even talks about, like, in the game, he's like, it says something to the effect, it's like, oh, this is going to be a tough one if you might need a break. Like if this is something that comes out on Netflix, he can even say, you go ahead, pause this here. Well, Netflix will keep your space for you. like
oh my god, should we assume this is going on Netflix just because this would never make it in theaters?
I think that's pretty safe to say. Like, I think this feels like a Netflix movie.
I like that a lot because I do like the idea of, like, you know what? This is a challenging movie. You should take a break.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to pause it for you.
Yeah.
When you're ready,
yeah,
just unpause it.
It's
maybe
like,
get a drink.
We'll save your progress.
I like that so much.
Yeah, maybe he could say that right after, Act 1, he falls down. He's like, okay, this is going to be a difficult movie to watch, so why don't you pause this here, collect your thoughts. I think what we want to do is we want to turn this into a movie, and we want to turn what people like about the game into a movie. And if we were to just make it a story about, like, how do I get in this bucket? Like it's,
yeah, we're definitely not doing that.
It's a completely different audience.
Exactly.
So I think we've kind of found how to adapt this. I just don't think we did adapt it. But we found out how to do it.
Yeah, I think we have an Act 1, we have an Act 3. We know what Act 2 entails, but we don't have the story.
Right,
there.
we don't. Yeah, because we can't rely on our old tropes, like, we can't. There's no MacGuffin he's trying to get, because, like, that's not what this is about. It's about climbing a mountain. Mm-hmm. It's about getting through it. It's about getting over it.
It's about getting over it. Like, originally my idea was he's getting over, like, his death, and it was going to be that kind of story. But I really like the meta and, like, the meditation on film and the current audience for film, because that's what the game is about. It's about the current state of gaming and what people expect and want out of games, internet culture. Like, translating that to film culture is super interesting. It's just like, there is no story in the game, and that's the problem we're facing right now.
That is, and that's the thing is.
I got a solution.
Sure. Yeah.
It's not this guy's story. It's Bennett Foddy's story, the narrator's story.
Yeah.
Like, we should have his arc be the important arc in Act 2.
Yeah. This guy's arc is, like, what is presented as the main story, but
it's a red herring.
But it's not. That's like there's a bunch of movies that do that.
So, like, the conversation he's having, the one-sided conversation, we can only hear his side with the producer. Like, I think that's the journey we're going on in Act 2, and this is just a fucking.
Maybe that's why he leaves, because he gets, like, fired or something. I don't know.
There's something there. I like that a lot.
I don't know. Do we want to wrap this up? Because, like, I feel weirdly satisfied with what we did. Like,
I also feel weirdly satisfied.
We certainly didn't solve the problem. We didn't make the movie, but I think, like, this is a fun pitch to like, get a script written.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fun writing prompt.
And I kind of want to, like, challenge our viewers a little bit with this one.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure, like, a lot of people listening to this sounds like I don't want to be challenged when I watch a movie. I want to have fun, and that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, so entertainment is supposed to be entertaining, but like, there's something to be said about arts, and movies are art.
This was a very strange episode, but this is a very strange movie.
And it's a very strange game.
It's a strange game, a strange movie based on a strange game, and a strange episode based on a movie that doesn't exist.
Yes.
We hoped you enjoyed it.
Yes.
I certainly had a good time discussing film theory and just, like, this cool game.
Yeah.
If you have ideas for other games or movies or whatever you want to see adapted into, well, something,
let us know.
Because we do all sorts of stuff apparently on this show.
And of course, if you have any ideas for this Bennett Foddy game.
Yeah, if you got a completely different idea, maybe, like, I kind of made fun of the idea, like, how did I get in this bucket? But if you got a great how did I get in this bucket movie, let us know.
Yeah.
Like,
and if you're Bennett Foddy, what do you think?
Oh, geez, yeah, you're Bennett Foddy. Hi, you made an awesome game, and I hope we did a good job with your stuff.
I'd be so embarrassed if Bennett Foddy watched this, but I kind of wish he would.
Me too. I'd feel all of like the joy I'm feeling. Like, hey, we really nailed this. Would be like, oh, certainly.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Foddy.
We messed it up. We messed it way up. But yeah, all right, cool. Well, thanks for watching Screen to Screen, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye. I got a weird idea.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What we're recording right now, this is the movie.
Ooh.
Because it's very similar.
Oh, why did I do that? Oh.